Shalom and welcome. Shalom, 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 and welcome to the United Nation of Yahweh podcast. And welcome to the United Nation of Yahweh podcast. I am Rabbi Jacob Lukersbach, and my name is Rabbi Jacob. My name is Rabbi Jacob of the United Nation of Yahweh. There is not one day on this earth that God looks upon, that there's not one day that God looks upon this earth and sees all the sinful things of this earth. God views all the sinful things of this earth for a reason. The book of Revelation points out that in the end times, that we are living in the last days of the very last days of the very last days. It is the time when when the wicked will be judged, when the wicked will be judged, and the righteous will be brought up into the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. The Lord makes it very clear that only the chosen ones shall be saved. Only the Lord knows when the world will end. Only the good Lord knows that, only the good Lord knows the chosen ones. For in this world, for in this world, God sees all the sinful ones. And in this world, God sees all the goodness. For God created the world in 7 days. God created the world in 6 days. And on the seventh day he rested. And on the seventh day he rested. God knows what we are going to say, even before we say it. God looks upon his special people. God looks upon his special people. And he says, these are my special people. These are my special people. I will save in the last days. I look upon the special people of the world and I tell them, God looks upon the special people of the world and he says, I will save these chosen people in the last days. I will save these chosen people in the last days of the last days. All people who are sinful and committing sin will not be spared, that will not be spared the tribulation. For there is only one person who will start the tribulation, and that person is the Antichrist. The Antichrist is the one who will start the tribulation. Revelations chapter 15 verse 18 says this, here is wisdom. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666. God knows what the world is capable of. God knows what we are capable of. And that God knows there's people out there who need a little extra help. God knows this very well. And God knows everyone has their ways. God knows everyone has different ways of thinking. God knows I have a different way of thinking. God knows everyone around me has a different way of thinking. And God understands, and Yahweh understands that. Yahweh understands that everyone has a different way of thinking. Yahweh understands everyone. And even though Yahweh might not agree with everyone, Yahweh understands us. Yahweh understands that we are not always perfect, but we can better ourselves by looking to the heavens. We can always better ourselves by looking to the heavens and asking for forgiveness. We can always better ourselves by looking to the heavens and asking Yahweh for forgiveness. Asking Yahweh for forgiveness is asking Yahweh for forgiveness is the answer. Shalom, shalom. Asking Yahweh for forgiveness is always the answer to our problems. Not asking Yahweh for forgiveness is not the way to is not the answer to our problems. Shalom, shalom. But if we don't ask God for forgiveness, if we don't ask Yahweh for forgiveness, Yahweh not forgive other people, will not forgive other people. Shalom. Now that's the spirit right there. By not asking Yahweh for forgiveness, we won't get what we want. We won't be forgiven, and Yahweh will not forgive other people for what they've done to us. Yahweh understands that we've done things we regret doing. Sometimes, sometimes there have been times when I've done things I regret doing. But Yahweh understands that. But Yahweh always knows that I can ask for forgiveness. Shalom. Once I've asked for forgiveness, Yahweh will forgive me. So as Yahweh forgives others, Yahweh will one day forgive me, just as He has forgiven countless others. Yahweh will one day take others into the clouds to to be with the Lord. And whenever the Lord and whenever I see whenever I see the Lord Jehovah in the clouds, I know I will be forgiven. All right. Right. All right. So I can testify that Jehovah is amongst us right now. Jehovah is literally amongst us right now. Regardless of what people say, Jehovah is amongst us right now. And knowing that Jehovah is amongst us right now, knowing that Jehovah is amongst us right now, knowing that Jehovah is amongst us right now, I can say that Jehovah being amongst us right now, he will take all his followers into the clouds during the rapture. The rapture will be the day when when all of Jehovah's followers will be taken into the clouds to meet with Jehovah in the Lord in the air. You must if you cannot how can you learn to love others if you cannot learn to love yourself? If you cannot learn to love others, you cannot learn to love yourself. God, for Jehovah knows that we suffer every day, and everyone know, and God and Jehovah knows that Jehovah knows everyone has a different, and Jehovah knows that everyone needs to be free. Once we're all free to do what we want, we will to be taken up into the clouds to meet with Jehovah in the air. After that, all the deadly sinners will be left on earth. All the deadly sinners will be left on earth to to suffer the tribulation times. Knowing we are living in the tribulation times, only Jehovah will save his followers from the terrible tribulation. This much is a fact. The tribulation is coming. I know this because I know the tribulation is coming. As leader of the United Nation of Yahweh, I know as leader of the United Nation of Yahweh, I know the tribulation is coming. I have feared this for the longest time. I have feared that the Antichrist is already among us right now. I have feared the Antichrist is already among us. And knowing what I know, I would rather be caught up in the clouds with Jehovah than live another day of the tribulation.